Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. All right, guys, today we are going to be designing our name, and we're going to put it on a t-shirt using heat transfer vinyl. And so without further ado, we're going to get started. So I'm actually on the design tab. You have 4 tabs here to the right. I'm on the design tab. I'm going to change my page setup around a little bit. So I'm going to come over here to the far right, and I'm going to click on that very first icon, which looks like a little slip of paper with a folded edge, folded right edge. So we're going to click on Open the Page Setup panel, and we're going to do some changes here. Instead of having an auto manual, we're going to leave it on auto manual, but where we have the cutting mat, we're going to say that we're using a 12 by 12 cameo mat. And we're going to say that our media size, which is like your vinyl or your paper, we're going to say it's also a 12 by 12. So both should be 12 by 12. You're going to notice that your mat and your type of fabric or material or whatever you're using, the size of it would change here as well. All right, so we're going to leave that like we have it. Another thing I want to show you, if you are used to using a grid in Cricut Design Space, and that's the best way that you know how to use to design, and you have to have those grids, on the page setup, that second little icon there is your grid settings. And if you click on it, you can do a show grid. Now, initially, it's going to come up and it's going to have one with all of the lines across it. But you can change the number of lines to make it a little bit more user friendly. And you can do that by just decreasing this number to 1. And that'll give you basically the same 1 through 12 that you have on your mat so that you can line up your projects better. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. But by all means, you can click off of that just as easy as you clicked on it. You can click back on it, to reinitiate the grid. Excuse me. So I'm going to leave the grid up there. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to insert some text. So we're going to come back over to the left side here, and we're going to click on the A for text. And then you can just click anywhere on your screen, just one time. And then I'm going to type in just the letter C for my name. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase this in size. So you just click here on one of the little small, very small rectangles here, white rectangles. We're just going to click directly on that, and then we can drag it out to wherever we want it to actually be. So I'm going to do this middle one and drag it to the right to expand it. And then I'm going to go back up a little bit further here. So right now you can see that our C is a 10.707 by 9.729. And I'm going to change this C from Arial to a different font. So this is one, guys, I think that I got from Creative Fabrica. But it is called, hold on one second here. I typed in K, I didn't mean to type that in, but it's called Atom Slant. Atom Slant is one of my favorites. Look how pretty that is. All right, and then we are going to expand it down. Not that far, not that far, not that far, Doris. Okay, there we go. We want to make sure we keep our design inside of these red lines. We don't want to go outside of that, okay? So there we have our, come now. We have our C, and I'm going to finish my name. I'm typing the name of Candoris, but instead of just having your name straight across the screen like I did earlier in my video when I did Candoris, I'm going to now click back on the A for text and click one time on my screen, and this time in lowercase, I'm going to type the remaining letters for Candoris. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And again, I'm going to change this from Arial to that Atom slant. So let's go down here and we're going to grab that. And now we have that. And we're going to take and we're going to make that bigger as well. And we're going to sit it right inside the C and have it to land at that very far right end of Candoris. So that's how the name is going to be. Uppercase for the first letter and then lowercase for everything else. Now we're going to go ahead and fill this in. So I'm going to click on the C and we're going to come over to our little painters area, open the fill panel. And it looks like a little painters thing that holds your different color paints. We're going to click on that and we're just going to choose a color. Okay, I'm going to, in this case, do both black. But now you can see we have a nice way that we can do our name instead of just having the, Candoris going straight across the screen. And we're going to take and click outside of it and drag over both. Okay. And what we're doing is we want to make sure we have everything selected by doing that. And then we're going to right click and say group. And now you have one cohesive letter or name, right? And anytime you're doing HTV, in most cases, more than not, you're going to mirror this. So we're going to come up to the menus up here and we're going to click on object and say mirror, flip horizontal. Okay. If you do not flip this horizontally, you're going to be just crafting for no reason because you're not going to be able to use that in that project that you complete at the end because your letters are going to be going in the wrong direction. All right, so now that we have Candoris, we're good to go here. So what we're going to do is we're now going to click on send. And we have everything inside of our 12 by 12 because we have the red lines to let us know that we're inside of it. And it's showing the red line around everything that is going to be cut. So you can see here exactly how everything is going to cut. Now I'm using the same glossy vinyl that I was using earlier. So I have set my blade depth at 3, force at 15, speed at 5, and I'm going to do 2 passes. Now, if you find that whatever vinyl you're cutting, it does not cut properly for you, meaning it doesn't cut all the way through so you can weed it easily, this is where you can play around with the force. If 3 doesn't work, maybe bump it up to a 4. 4 doesn't work, bump it up to a 5. But I would highly recommend that you get some vinyl that's not very expensive to play around with until you get comfortable with your settings. So I'm going to put that back on the 3. And the same thing with passes. You can make them go up and do more passes or less passes by using the up-down arrow. Same thing with your force and your speed. All right. So make sure it makes sense to you. And you know that based on that type of material that you're using, that it's enough pressure per the blade you're using to cut that material. Okay. So at this point, all we need to do is just click on send and it will cut for us. So I'm going to load my mat and I'm also going to load my mat, but I'm going to put the vinyl that I'm going to use. Again, I'm using a 12 by 12 or a size 12 by 12 vinyl or larger. And I'm using a standard silhouette mat, cutting mat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change everything here because all I need to do is just click on send at this point and I'll be good to go. So let's come up on screen now. All right, guys, so I have placed my vinyl onto my 12 by 12 silhouette mat. I have the shiny side down, okay, and you want to make sure that it's sticking nicely to your mat. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this. Now, you want a couple of things to note when you're getting ready to cut. First off, you want to make sure that blade is locked in place. Okay, you want to make sure your blade in carriage 1 is locked into place. You also want to make sure that when you line this mat up, where you have the 2 arrows and the, see if I can come in here, where you have the 2 arrows and the gray line, you want to make sure that your mat is coming in front of that gray line. You don't want it sitting on top of, you don't want it touching the arrows. You want it right in front of that gray line, okay, for the perfect cut. And you also want to make sure you have opened up the back part of your machine so that your vinyl can go through. Okay, so if you are like me and you love the process of where you can manually use the manual cutter in the back to cut your vinyl when you're done and you had it closed, just make sure it's open. Otherwise, your vinyl is going to get stuck and it won't move freely throughout your machine. Also, make sure that you have this tab here is pushed to the back so that the metal bar is locked into place along with your rollers. If you ever need to move your rollers, guys, you have this lock and unlock feature here where you can actually place your finger on it, and then you'll be able to move it freely like that. Okay, and then once you need to get it back into place, you can lock it right back. Okay, like that, and then just push that tab back so that it locks your bar back into place. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to line up our mat right in front of the gray line. We're going to get it right on the money there, and we're going to go ahead and press the up arrow. Okay, and in the Silhouette Studio, we're going to go ahead and press send. And that's the only thing I don't like about this machine, is that it is very noisy. I know I say that on each video tutorial, but it's noisy. So it finished our C, and now it's going in and doing the lower case letters to finish the name of Candoris. Showing at 49 seconds for it to be complete. So that's one of the things in Silhouette Studio. You can actually see how many seconds or minutes left you have of the cutting process. is done, and it looks like it cut fairly well. So we're going to go ahead and press our down arrow here on the right side to release our mat. You don't want to use the manual cutting in the back because it's on your mat, so you can't use that for this. But I can see my lines very well. I know exactly where I need to cut this. So I'm just going to go down here and give that a nice little cut. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to use my weeding tool, and I'm going to weed away the excess here. Get that nice and started. And we're just going to weed away what we will not be using. Now, some people will say you're wasting a lot of vinyl. Well, I have a lot of vinyl to waste, trust and believe, or that I need to use up. So, one way or another, I got to get rid of it. All right. So, we got most of our C out there. And we're going to come in. I'm going to start here. Now we're going to get down to our letters for the rest of Pandora's. And you can see how very easy this is weeding for us. And this is a glitter vinyl. So if any of you are having problems with what settings to use for glitter vinyl, then this is a good one that I just showed you the settings for. Get that. There we go. And I could have come down just a little bit further on the Candoris part. I could have come down a little bit further, but I didn't, so we'll live with it. So I'm just gonna now weed out this down so you guys can see. Weed out the excess inside of the letters. All right, come on now. Don't act up on me. There we go. I was about to pull out too much right there. Don't want to mess up my cut. Then it wouldn't be Silhouette's fault. It'll be user error. Okay, let's take a look. It might be just the... There it is. All right. All right. So there we have it. Candoris. Okay, so we're going to go to the press and we are going to heat press this onto our shirt so that we'll have a complete project and so that you can see how pretty this pink glitter vinyl shows up. I think I'm going to use a dark color t-shirt, but we're going to go to the press and iron this on and then we will be done. So we can just take this off of our mat now. And maybe you can see it better. Okay. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. All right, let's go to the press. All right, guys, we're going to be pressing our, I was going to do a black shirt, but I only come to find out I didn't have any more black. So I'm going to do this heather gray shirt. This is a cotton t-shirt. You know, with heat transfer vinyl, it doesn't matter if it's polyester or cotton, so we're good there. And I did a pre-press. You always want to do like a 5-second pre-press to get out any moisture. That's just to help with the longevity of your transfer or your vinyl on your t-shirt. So highly recommend doing that, guys. So we're going to go ahead and press at 340 for 25 seconds. We don't need to put anything on top of this. We're going to press it just like it is. And I'm going to bring you back when I get about 5 seconds out. All right, almost there. 2 and 1. All right. Super hot, super hot. Let's kind of let it cool just a little bit. And then we'll be able to see our true color. So right now it looks like no color, but once this kind of cools down, our color will come back. Let me go ahead and turn this off. And I'm going to let it cool for about 10 seconds and then we'll peel it. All right, guys, in about 10 seconds, we're going to go ahead and peel this off. And the funny thing is, it looked like it went from like a pinkish color to some really, I don't know what color. I'll let you see it and you tell me what you think. I think it would have been really pretty on the black, but our color was completely deceiving. So it looked pink. Let me get the vinyl. It looked pink on here. So I don't know how, after we heat transferred it, that it looked like this on the gray. Maybe it's the contrast of that on the gray. I don't know. But before we heat pressed it, it was perfect. But it's there, as you guys can see. Alright, so anywho, I'm still going to wear it. It's just for me. Maybe it's best that they can't see it very good so they don't be walking down the street calling my name. Kendor is like they know me, right? But I think that would have been gorgeous on the black. But I didn't have any more black, y'all. So I went with the next best thing. But I think it's still pretty. I just think it would have been prettier on the black. Okay? Alright, guys. So that is it for the, look, you can see the vinyl really, really good. It's just not pink. So, anywho, what I was going to say is just a couple of things to take into consideration when you are doing your cut. Is most importantly, make sure that blade is intact and it's snapped into place, because if it is not, your cut is not going to be, it's going to be messed up. Okay. Also make sure that where you have the two little arrows, I'm going to see if I can flip this on to show you guys here. So where you have these two little arrows, you want to make sure your mat is in front of that gray line. You don't want it on top of the gray line. You don't want it crossing over the gray line. You want it directly in front of the gray line. Okay. And you also want to make sure that you have your rollers locked into place. If you need to move them for whatever reasons, I would highly recommend that you take this bar, bring it forward, and move this around, and then press down to unlock it, and that will give you the ability to move that roller however you need to. And bada boom, bada bang, it's locked into, let's see here, it's locked into place. And then make sure you push that clamp back to the back. Okay, two things highly recommended. And also make sure that the back part of your machine is open. Okay, so that your mat can slide in and out as it needs to. Okay, so those things are crucial. And then inside of Silhouette Studio, If you are using a vinyl based off of Silhouette's recommendations for the blade depth, speed, and all that good stuff, and it doesn't cut, then you will have to play around with increasing that number or those numbers to get the better cut. Okay, so but overall, guys, not bad, just not what I expected that to be up against my. Look, the cooler it gets, the more color comes out, but it's clearly not pink, y'all. If you can see that, it's not pink at all. So that one fooled me. All right. And like I said, it could be the contrast of the color against the gray, but it's clearly, you can clearly see that it took. Okay. But yeah, so those are the things that I would highly recommend that you do in order to get the perfect cut. So I have tried to show you guys now how to do the matless. I'm trying to get my little thing on my, sorry y'all, so I don't have to hold this phone. It's probably gonna pop out. Hopefully it don't pop on my head. All right, so I've tried to show you guys how to do the matless cutting, and also now I've shown you how to do the cut with the mat. Okay, so I think that should get you going for those of you that are new to the Cameo 4 like me and that are afraid to use the cutting machine. If I can do it, guys, I'm 58 years old. If I can do it, and I'm one of those that are resistant to learning new things, but once I learn it, I don't mind showing others. So that's my purpose in doing this. Once I get to, I'm going to show you how to do a t-shirt transfer with the Silhouette Studio and a print then cut. So those are two things that I want to show you, and then I'm probably going to upgrade to the business edition. I don't know if you can, I think you have to have the business edition in order to create the rhinestone templates, and that is really what I want to do. Something that I can't really do too well in Cricut Design Space without a whole lot of effort. So but I will be teaching you, so be excited about that. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I just wanted to show you how to get in there and cut matless and with the mat, and things to look out for those of you that may be having issues. Do not give up on the Silhouette Cameo 4, because like I said, if I can do it, and I'm 58, and even though I've been in learning and development now for over 35 years, I just got to a point where I don't like to learn new stuff, especially if it's a whole bunch of tasks. That is so funny, considering I don't mind teaching others, but for me to learn it, y'all can do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. You really can. All right, guys, before this phone fall out of this thing here, I'm going to go ahead and close. I want to tell you guys in my Facebook and that currently follow me on YouTube, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support that you show to me. If you would like to join my Facebook group, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, it will be linked in the description of this video tutorial. And all you have to do is click on that link, agree to the Facebook group rules, and we'll get you in. If you are seeing me for the first time and you like my method of teaching, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't know why every time I do a video, my eyes start itching. Is that a sign? I don't know, y'all. If it's a sign, chime in the comments and let me know. But yeah, so that's what I want to say to you guys. And like I said, if you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. That is one of the ways that creators like myself can continue to get products and things like that, by you guys following, liking, sharing, subscribing to our YouTube channel, because then we get paid monetarily from YouTube. Okay, and that way we don't have to start asking you to send us money. Okay, so I like to keep it that way. So likes, share, and subscribing to my YouTube channel helps tremendously. Okay, and yeah, so for my Cameo 4, I'm probably gonna go live one day on YouTube and just talk about my experience so far, and maybe do some project with you guys. I'll decide later. But I cannot forget my Cricut family, because y'all know I'm Cricut through and through. Okay, so I can't forget about my Cricut users that don't have the cameo. So I'm going to be versatile. Okay, but what I will say is when I learn things in Silhouette Cameo 4 that I haven't taught on in Cricut or vice versa, I'm going to share it one way or the other so that both my followers and subscribers will know how to do it, even if they're Cricut or if they're Silhouette Cameo. Okay. And next up is Cricut. I'm going to do a 20-ounce skinny tumbler using my convection oven. All right, so stay tuned for that. And if you have not done sublimation and you're interested in it, then stay tuned. But also, before I go, check out the previous videos that I've completed on the Silhouette Cameo 4. And I do have a Silhouette playlist on my YouTube channel so that you can go directly to what I've created thus far for the Silhouette Cameo, and I also have a Cricut one to help you out. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Don't give up. Don't give up. And if you haven't taken that Silhouette Cameo 4 out of the box, take it out. Now is the time. All right, guys, you have a great day. And you know my motto, each one reach one, so that each one can teach one. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.